Crime Prevention Research Center President Dr. John Lott tells One American News that the terror watch list now includes about 1 million names and could soon be used as a backdoor means to limit Second Amendment rights. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
Dr. John Lott, president of the Crime Prevention Research Center and author of More Guns, Less Crime, is with us. And Dr. Lott, you write that there are now nearly 2 million people on the terror watch list. And of course, back in the Obama administration, there was an attempt to keep people on this list from buying guns. Many Americans might think it's a good idea or a good thing to have people on the terror watch list prohibited from buying guns. But you say that this might be a bad idea. Why?
It surely sounds bad to have people who you say are on the terror watch list going out and buying guns. The problem is this list has ballooned over time and includes a lot of people who, even the government agencies that are putting people on lists, don't believe that they have anything to do with terrorism. It might be they just simply want to talk to somebody who they think might know somebody who they think might be involved with terrorism, and that would prevent somebody from being able to go and buy a gun. The thing is also you can just look through this list basically started in 2003. It's grown tremendously over time. And of course, just earlier this year, as President Biden and his administration were talking about expanding it still further. But if you look at the people who have bought guns, who were on the terror watch list, at least up to 2014, there were no indications that any of those individuals had actually gone and committed a crime or done anything else bad with the guns that they had had.
And isn't it also the case, perhaps, then, that the Democrats in Congress want to try to perhaps add a provision to some of the legislation pending in the Congress that would mandate that anybody on any of these lists can't buy a firearm? Is that what seems to be going on here, do you suspect, sir?
Right. Well, I think that would be very likely. In 2015 and 2016, Democrats tried to put just such an amendment onto the budgets that came up. The Republicans at the time controlled the Senate and were able to stop those amendments from going through. But right now, Democrats control everything, and they don't need any Republican votes since they're going to be putting through the budget through reconciliation. And so, as long as they can get all 50 Democrats to go and support something, which they were able to get all the Democrats previously in 2015 and 2016 to support it, they'll be able to put it through. And given how little time people even have to go and read these massive budgets when they get put up, maybe just a couple days or a few days to go and read through these things, we may not even know that they put in something like that until well after the budget is passed.
So it's your contention that this terror list of folks who supposedly have connections to terrorists, the so-called terror watch list, it's now 2 million people. It seems to be expanding. And it is your contention then that the Biden administration potentially could support or could propose some sort of amendment being added to either the reconciliation bill or possibly this infrastructure legislation making its way through Congress, which would essentially prevent 2 million people or so from being able to buy guns.
Right. Well, it could even prevent more than 2 million people from being able to go and buy guns. What you find often with these lists, as you find with background checks done by the government, is that they end up stopping a lot of people who simply have similar names to the people that you actually do want to stop. You look at the late Senator Ted Kennedy. There were 5 times where he was prevented from flying on an airplane for the no-fly list, which is part of the terror watch list, simply because he had a name similar to somebody that they wanted to prohibit. You or I, if we ended up getting on the list because we had a name similar to somebody else, there's no easy phone number for us to go and call.
Dr. John Lott, president of the Crime Prevention Research Center and author of More Guns, Less Crime, Thank you for talking to us on One American News, sir. It's good to catch up with you.
Thank you very much, John.